Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are tuning in. My name is Rachael Goldsworthy, and I'm on a journey to improve my life by 2 millimeters each and every week, and I want to do that with you. How are each and every one of you? What are you up to? Are you feeling the cold tonight? Where have you all been? Well, let me just say, it must be snowing somewhere. On the top of Mount Wellington, certainly, my friends, and also Mount Hotham, from what I've heard. So fantastic news about that, and good for those people that are heading down to the snow season this year. And, it's a lot of fun when I personally like the tobogganing. Oh, you want to say hello, do you, Tops? Topsy wants to say hello. This is Topsy. She wanted to say hello. She doesn't mind. I don't think she really likes the cold. I think she likes more the snacks. Maybe the what do you reckon? The hot chocolates, or maybe a chocolate chip biscuit, maybe with carob. Do you want a biscuit of some sort? She likes the biscuits. She does. But I'm heading down to Tasmania again in July, August is the next month that I'll be there. And I've got a friend her and her husband, they've got a property down there and they love it. And it is a beautiful place to visit and so many things to do with the flora and fauna. But there's also a tour that they do down there which showcases the flora and fauna. And you can't take your puppy dogs, unfortunately, but as much as Topsy would like to go. But they've got these amazing cameras and these amazing light shows. And we won't be going down together to see that, but I'll certainly go down there and I'll report back to you. The other thing that we are doing, I might pop you down. You're getting a little bit, there we go. That was Topsy. She loves getting on the camera. The other thing that I wanted to support today as well in regards to nature, I don't know whether any of you have got a copy of this book, Epic. It's the Blue Mountains Guidebook, and it's all about, just different guidebooks and so forth for Australia's Blue Mountains and the area and the region and what to do and where to travel. So if you're not too sure on where to go, there's got a whole bunch of walks that these guys and girls have put together painstakingly, spent lots of, and there's maps in there as well. So even on the, the Three Sisters, there's a lovely picture there. But basically, there's little guide maps, there's QR codes, those sorts of things. So you can check out what walks are available. If you like being in nature, you like being part of what's going on there, that's always fun to do too. Tonight, a bit of a sad one really, but I'm sure everybody's been affected with it one way or another. But a good friend of mine, her sister was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, brain tumour. And it's, as much as it's sad, I like to sort of focus on the positive. And like George Eliot said, and this is one of my quotes from my book, a journal, it's never too late to be what you might have been. And I think this whole journey is being part of, hey Jax, how are you? Hey Joel, nice to have you on the line. Yeah, my friend's journey has all been an interesting one. They first got diagnosed with lung cancer, and that was about 8 months ago. And they survived that, and really positive with the process and the protocol and what was required to overcome that. And the last thing that you're doing is going to your doctor, getting a checkup for what you've just been through, to think that you're going to get a diagnosis of stage 4 brain cancer. But once again, they remain positive, and they've had the tumour removed. So they've had a scar from one side of the head across to the other side. So from one ear to the other ear, then they fold the hairline forward and access the area which they needed to take out the tumour and start again, I suppose. And they started with a list of, well, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? And sometimes in life you need to have that focus, don't you? Because last week we spoke about, sometimes there's lessons in life from people, or you're giving that lesson, or you're sharing that experience or that lesson together, and you're learning things together. And life's all about learning and progress, and, as I've found over the years, and it's certainly something that is humbling when you have friends and family that have been, had circumstances similar to this that they're facing. So I guess the main message for me tonight is listen to your body, because as much as we don't feel as though we know the answers, sometimes we know the answers and we don't even realise we know the answers. So with brain tumours, my friend experienced some headaches, some pain, and a little bit of brain fog. And sometimes when you're busy, you're doing what you're doing, you don't really realise what's going on. You think, oh, I'm just tired, I'm working hard, the kids are at school, or there's things going on around with whoever it might be, and you just carry on regardless. And sometimes you've just got to stop and listen to your body, and listen to what's happening in your life, and is that a reflection of, are you tired? Are you stressed? Are there things going on? Or is there something else going on in your body that you may not know about? And my friend had some headaches. They had a little bit of fogginess in their head. They might be having a conversation and talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden the conversation goes to another thing. And no rhyme or reason to it. A little bit of blurred vision. And you just think, oh, I've just got to clean my glasses. Or, how many times have we all done this? You just say, oh, I've just got to clean my glasses. Or you've got a headache. Oh, don't worry about it. I must need to just drink a bit more water. Maybe a bit of balance issues, a bit of cognition issues, a little bit of trouble remembering or focusing on things as you're doing things. A bit of a weakness in one side. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes you sit down and you sit on your leg the wrong way, and you might get pins and needles in your leg, or pins and needles in your arm if you're leaning on your arm, or sitting like this for a long period of time. And I implore you to go to the doctor if you're not too sure. As Gemma says, it's so important to listen to your body, because if you don't listen to your body, it's just that little knock on the door that says, hey, what's going on? Just like this little knock from Bruce. You wanted to say hello. You wanted to jump on the live, didn't you? Say hi to everybody. How's everybody out there tonight? He had a little bit of a snack earlier before, didn't you, buddy? You certainly listen to your body. Tonight, or this afternoon, oh, he wants a cuddle, okay. Tonight he said to me, oh, we must go for a walk, Mummy. I'm listening to my body and I'm telling you, I need a walk. So what did we do, Bruce? We went for our little walk, and his sister loves a walk too, don't you? Yeah, she loves a walk too. And then when you come back from a walk, what do you always get? You get a little biscuit, don't you? So he's a real cutie. He's a bit of a cuddle bug, actually. And they say also when you're cuddling your dog or cuddling your cat or, hugging a tree or whatever it might be, that you're sharing those positive protons. So maybe that positive energy that's needed for all of us. So if you need a little bit of a hug, Bruce is certainly always there, aren't you, Mr. Cuddlebug? Hey, you gonna give me a cuddle? Oh. He's a big sook. You can tell he's a big sook. Anyway, the message for tonight is just listen to your body, listen to what's going on around you. And there was a quote that Gemma gave tonight, and she said, clarity fuels action and action opens doors. So yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've got the clarity around what's going on, and even if you don't have the clarity of what's going on, ask some friends, go and see the doctor, go and pat the dog, and see what you need, in life, and what may be something that, you're doing that you might need to change, or maybe something that you need to keep doing, because sometimes, you know, we are doing things that we're getting so much joy out of, like cuddles with Bruce. He loves his cuddle. He always tucks in for his cuddle, don't you? Yeah, I just love doing that. And, you know, I think being you is your superpower. So whatever that is for you, some people are more in tune with their body, some people are more in tune with other people and where they're at. And sometimes you can tap into what's going on for other people and help other people in that circumstance. And I know for me, with my friend with their journey, sometimes it's just having that person to listen to the conversation. You want to hop down now? Okay. Brucey's dropped in and dropped out. He's going down to tuck into his bed. It's early night for him. But yeah, sometimes you just got to listen to yourself and listen to your body and what you're doing. And there's a lady on the internet, she talks, Daniel McKean, she talks about overcoming stage 4 breast cancer. And she talks about lots of different superfoods. Now, I'm not one way or the other, so I'm not too sure, but some of the superfoods that she used to overcome and be in remission was broccoli sprouts. She said it kills the cancer and the stem cells. Sea veggies for detoxing. Leafy greens to keep your body alkaline. Lentils and beans for gut and blood sugar support. So, you know, there's lots of different things that you can tap into there. But the internet is a wonderful resource, and if you're learning about lots of different things, you know, share in the comments below if you've had success with overcoming something as big as this, or overcoming something else in life, because sometimes that comment that you make is just that comment that helps that next person, because positivity breeds positivity. And like last week we're talking about, hate has 4 letters, but so does love. So bring the love, pop in the comments below what you think has helped you in your life, and what's helped you in doing something that you wanted to do in life. The other thing that I was looking at last week and this week is the 10-10-10. And I know in real estate we have a 10-10-10, which is basically when you're selling a home, you've got 10 homes that are opposite that home, 10 homes to the left of the home, and 10 homes to the right of that home. So there's a house for sale, or that's just about to be put on the market for sale, and those other surrounding homes are the most likely homes that are going to be put on the market in the next sort of 2, 3, 6 months. So ordinarily you provide additional support and advice to those people, and let them know about the house that's coming on the market in the first instance in their street, but also about how it compares to their home, if they're looking at doing some renovations, or if they're looking at putting their property on the market. That's just a helpful way to keep people heading in the right direction as to what they want to do. And the same thing that this gentleman was talking about, it was a manifesting method that he utilised, but it was called the 10-10-10. And the 10-10-10 is basically having 3 lists. So they had 3 lists, and the first list was get a piece of paper out and write down the number 1 to 10. And at the top of the list, you put the 10 things that you desire or that you want in life. So you could sit there and have a moment to yourself and think, okay, I want to achieve these things, or I'm thinking of these things. Then the second part of that 10-10-10 is another 10 things, but what are the 10 things that you're most grateful for? So you'd write 1 to 10 of 10 things that you're most grateful for, whether it's your mum and dad, whether it's your cuddles with your puppy dogs, whether it's your awesome staff that you've got, whether it's the people in your life, your friends and family that are in and around you, whether it's that morning cup of coffee outdoors with the birds in the morning, whether it's taking a walk in the park with the kids. I'm not too sure what that is for you, but just writing down 10 things that you're grateful for. Even if you haven't got 10, maybe one thing, just one thing that you're really grateful for. And then the final 10 is 10 things that you love to do. So that could be similar to what you're grateful for, because those things that you're grateful for, if you say that you love them and you want to do more of them, then they would naturally occur. So, you know, real estate, I love real estate, you know, I love learning new things. I love having that curiosity for new things. I love being in other people's lives so that we all learn from one another and help one another get there. I mean, that's why I started doing the 2mm Monday, because it's all about sharing those experiences with one another and helping one another in life to get where that other person wants to go. Because ultimately, if you help others, the universe just ultimately wants to help you back tenfold. So, you know, what are some other things that you want to do? Do you like walking in nature? Do you like spending time with, you know, projects, new projects? Do you like learning a language? Do you like learning a new topic or reading a book in the sunshine? I'm not too sure what that is, but I just thought that that was 3 really simple things that you could do. And that essentially could be almost your list for the year, or your focus list of the year. And even if you carry that list with you, and if you had a moment that, whether it was a spare moment to yourself that you wanted to reiterate what you wanted to achieve for the year, you could go back to the things that you want to achieve, the things that you're most grateful for, and then the things that you love. Because if you're sitting there, like I carry one around in my wallet, it's not the same as the 10-10-10, but it's very similar to that. It's just a simple list of things that I want to achieve. Now, you don't always achieve everything on your list, but you might achieve something else that wasn't on your list as a byproduct of it being on your list originally. So if it's not out of your head and it's not on paper and there's no action steps or breaking down of what to do to head towards that goal, sometimes it's not something that's probably achievable. But if you sit down and do that list, you know, what do you want in life? Why are you grateful for things in your life? And what are the things that you love doing in life? Because if there's that moment that you have, you could literally just sit down and read 1 or 2 of those things, and it just reminds you. It's that reticular activating system in the brain where it just brings it to the forefront, and then off you go again. And the more you think about it, it's kind of like if you say to somebody, okay, have a look around in the room, and I want you to have a look around, have a look at the colours in the room that you're in, but I don't want you to see anything red. Don't have a look for anything red in the room. I don't want you to see red. Don't see red. And so then looking in the surrounds to me, all you're going to see maybe is the red on my Live Love Big Life calendar. And it's the same thing in life. If you say it out loud, if you have it on a piece of paper, and if you're constantly reviewing that list, you have no choice but to move in that direction. You know, you want to move in that direction. So, yeah, I liken that idea, and I think it's never too late to be what you might have been. And that's what my friend is studying, is working out, okay, what are the important milestones that I want to achieve? And facing a diagnosis of cancer, it's very confronting, and not only for yourself but also for the family, and how everybody is going to navigate that process together. And by no means do I have any of it figured out, but I know that if everybody's there for one another and you support one another through that process, there's a lot to be said with community support, family support, and just knowing that your friends and family have got your back, it's great. So my heart goes out to my friend and her family, and I'm really hoping for a positive outcome. Like you overcame lung cancer. I know brain cancer is a little bit different, and the chances of it recurring or returning is very high. But I know that they're very positive, and they've got a positive outlook to life in their daily routine. So I'm hopeful of a good outcome for you and the family. So whether it's getting out in nature, whether it's going and doing things. Last week I went to, if anybody was wanting to see the whales being out in nature, I went to the national park up at Cape Solander, the old Kurnell location. I remember Dad and myself and maybe my brother and sister, we went up there with Dad to get some sand for some of the rock formations that Dad, and fish ponds that Dad used to make in the backyard. Completely not allowed to do, but that was a long time ago before any of that was made not allowed to do. So, yeah, backing the trailer in, getting a little bit of sand out of Kurnell and making a rockery. I can't confirm or deny that it happened, but we had a lot of fun on the sand dunes at, pardon me, Kurnell, but I just going to have a sip of water. We had a fun bunch of us went and did the walk, the cliff walk there. So you basically go to Kurnell, Green Hills there, pardon me, and you head up to the lookout, go to Cape Solander Lookout, and you'll see a bunch of whales. At the moment they're migrating, so they're heading from south to north, and you'll see them frolicking in the ocean. Pardon me. And you'll see them frolicking in the ocean, and then you'll also be, I think we had a guide. I organised a guide, one of the national parks guide. And funnily enough, we're talking about putting things out to the universe and writing your list and manifesting. Well, I said to all my friends, I'm going to ring the national parks and see what's available. So I rang national parks. Sorry, excuse me. I rang national parks and I said, hey, do you mind letting me know what the best walks are to go and see the whales at the moment? Because I heard about Guatemala, which is just a bit further south. And then I also heard about this one, Cape Solander. And they said, oh, yeah, there's no walks on this particular day, but we'll put one on for you. And I thought, how many people have you got? And I said, oh, a handful of people. And they went, great, fantastic, we'll put on a walk for you. So essentially that's what they did. And it was fantastic. But the guide's name was Jessica Fox. And I said to my staff at the time, I said, oh, we're going to have the gold medalist of the Australian team taking us on a walk to do whale watching at the cliff tops in Kurnell, Cape Solander. And they just laughed at me and said, okay, gold medalist, go for it, yeah. I thought, fantastic, because I love kayaking. And I would have loved to have met Jessica Fox and hear all about her kayaking stories and what she was up to in that regard. And you wouldn't believe it, when I got there, I didn't think I was going to be meeting Jessica Fox at all, but in my mind I had the gold medalist and I had the Australian team and I had all of those thoughts to do with kayaking and the gold medal that Jessica Fox had won. And I kid you not, I got to Cape Solander, got out of the car, met the guide there. Her name was Jessica Fox. She wasn't Jessica Fox, the one that won the gold medal, but she might have well as won a gold medal. She had a bunch of people there, and she had her mum on the walk as well. And she was a member of one of the local groups, Orca, who support the wildlife, and also she does lots of walks. She works for the national park, but she also, with this Orca, there's a lot of rescue, so whales get caught in the nets, etc. And there's a bunch of them that all help one another out, and then they get people involved to rescue these whales. So she deserves a gold medal for that alone. But talking about Australian team gold medals and those sorts of things, I was on this walk through the cliffs. And as I'm walking up the cliffs with everybody else on this walk, this guy walks past. He's quite tall. He must have, I mean, I'm tall, I'm nearly 6 foot. And this guy walks past, and I would say he would have been 6'5". And he had the Australian team jacket on from what I thought was the Olympics or some sort of event like that. Because I'd worked in the Olympics with the Australian team and I'd worked in the Paralympics as well with the Australian team. So I was familiar with the uniform and so forth. And then there was a bunch of people all in the green and gold colours, and I was thinking, this is really good on you, Australia. Yes, it's not Australia Day, it's not Australia Day weekend, it's none of that. But I put it out to the universe. I said, Jessica Fox, gold medalist, Australian team, amazing. Because I'm very patriotic and I love Australia for many reasons, and I love all the athletes. Like the guys and the girls are just amazing at what they've done, and for the sports and for the people that follow the sports, and also for the people that, you know, the young aspiring boys and girls that want to be those athletes when they grow up. And then I'm walking on this walk and I've seen this guy that's 6'5" or thereabouts with the Australian jersey on. And then a bunch more of these jerseys went past. I still thought nothing of it. And then all of a sudden I saw an athlete that I recognised that was one of the athletes from the Australian team. And I went, oh, well, Jessica Fox wasn't the Jessica Fox for the gold medalist, but even though I still think she deserved a gold medal for all of the work that she did with her research and with her support of the national parks and the whales. But I pretty much met some of the Australian team as I was walking past, and you know, the walks are a little bit narrow on the paths there, so you sort of let people go and stand by, and just they were really happy, smiling, and obviously out with everybody. It was great camaraderie. So good on you, the Australian team, wherever you are now, and keep doing all the training. We're doing us proud by representing your country. Being you is your superpower, absolutely. So I think that's about it for me tonight. So my message is, it's never too late to be what you might have been. Work out your 10-10-10. Check in with those people that you want to. Support those people that you want to. And I'm sure in turn they'll support you as well. But take care of yourselves and each other. And I look forward to catching up with you on the next video. Stay warm out of this cool weather. And winter is certainly here upon us. See you next week.